Welcome to this video on vestigial structures, one of the most fascinating pieces of evidence for evolution. Vestigial structures are like biological souvenirs from our evolutionary past, remnants that tell the story of how species have changed over millions of years. In this video, we'll explore what these structures are, why they exist, and what they reveal about the history of life on Earth. Let's dive into the incredible world of evolutionary biology and discover the hidden clues our bodies carry from our ancestors. Vestigial structures are body parts that have lost most or all of their original function through the process of evolution. Think of them as evolutionary leftovers. These structures were once useful and important for the survival of our ancestors, but over time, as species adapted to new environments and lifestyles, these body parts became less necessary. They didn't disappear completely, but they became reduced in size and diminished in function. The key characteristics of vestigial structures are that they're inherited from ancestors. They're typically smaller or simpler than in ancestral species, and they serve little to no purpose in the modern organism compared to their original function. Humans carry several vestigial structures that hint at our evolutionary history. The appendix is a small pouch attached to our large intestine that once helped our herbivorous ancestors digest tough plant materials rich in cellulose. Wisdom teeth are extra molars that were useful when our ancestors ate a diet of raw plants, roots, and tough meat, requiring more grinding power. The tailbone, or coccyx, is the remnant of a tail that our distant ancestors used for balance and movement. Body hair is another example. While our ancestors had thick fur for warmth and protection, modern humans have much less body hair because we developed other ways to regulate temperature and protect ourselves. Each of these structures tells a story about how humans have evolved. Let's take a closer look at the human appendix to understand vestigial structures better. In our herbivorous ancestors who consumed large amounts of plant material, the appendix played an important role in helping digest cellulose, the tough fiber found in plant cell walls. However, as humans evolved and our diet became more diverse, including cooked foods and a variety of nutrients, the appendix became less necessary for digestion. Today, it's a small pouch that has minimal digestive function. Interestingly, recent research suggests the appendix might serve as a reservoir for beneficial gut bacteria, which could help repopulate the intestines after illness. This shows that even vestigial structures can sometimes take on new, minor roles, even though they've lost their original primary function. Vestigial structures aren't unique to humans, they're found throughout the animal kingdom. Snakes have tiny pelvic bones embedded in their bodies, remnants from their four-legged ancestors that walked on land millions of years ago. Whales have small hip bones that serve no purpose in swimming, left over from when their ancestors were land-dwelling mammals with functional hind legs. Flightless birds like ostriches, emus, and penguins have wing structures that are too small or modified for flight, but these wings remain as evolutionary remnants from their flying ancestors. These examples from different species all point to the same conclusion. Organisms carry traces of their evolutionary history in their bodies. The story of whale evolution provides compelling evidence for how vestigial structures form. Whales evolved from four-legged land mammals that lived millions of years ago. These ancient ancestors had functional hind legs that they used for walking on land. Over millions of years, as these mammals gradually adapted to life in the ocean, their body structure changed dramatically. Their front legs evolved into flippers for swimming, and their hind legs became unnecessary and gradually reduced in size. Modern whales retain tiny hip bones embedded deep within their bodies, bones that serve no purpose for swimming. These hip bones are vestigial structures that provide clear evidence of whales' land-dwelling ancestry and demonstrate how evolution gradually modifies body structures over vast periods of time. You might wonder if these structures are no longer useful. Why haven't they completely disappeared? There are three main reasons. First, vestigial structures persist because they're not harmful enough to be selected against. Natural selection primarily removes traits that significantly reduce an organism's chances of survival or reproduction. If a structure doesn't cause problems, there's no strong evolutionary pressure to eliminate it. Second, evolution takes time. Complete loss of structures requires many generations and gradual genetic changes. Third, there's genetic complexity to consider. The genes that code for these structures may be linked to other important traits, so removing them entirely could affect other beneficial characteristics. Evolution works with what's already there, modifying existing structures rather than starting from scratch. Vestigial structures provide powerful evidence that different species share common ancestors. When we see similar vestigial structures across different species, it reveals evolutionary connections. For example, the presence of hip bones in whales connects them to other mammals that have functional hip bones. These structures show the history of gradual modification over time, demonstrating that evolution doesn't create organisms from nothing, but rather modifies existing body plans. Vestigial structures are like fossils within living organisms, carrying forward traces of ancestral forms. They help scientists understand the evolutionary relationships between species and reconstruct the tree of life, showing how different groups of organisms are related through common descent. It's important to note that not all vestigial structures are completely useless. Some have taken on new functions through evolution, a process called exaptation. The human tailbone, while no longer used as a tail, now serves as an important attachment point for pelvic muscles and provides support when we sit. Ostrich wings, though unable to support flight, are used for balance while running, for courtship displays to attract mates, and for shading their chicks from the sun. This shows that evolution is remarkably adaptive and resourceful. Even structures that have lost their original function can be repurposed for new roles. This demonstrates that vestigial doesn't always mean useless. It means the structure has lost its original primary function, but may have gained minor secondary functions. Let's recap the key points about vestigial structures. First, vestigial structures are reduced or non-functional body parts that organisms inherit from their ancestors. They were once useful, but have become less important or unnecessary due to evolutionary changes. Second, these structures provide strong evidence for evolution and common ancestry, showing that species are related and have changed over time. Third, vestigial structures persist because evolution is a gradual process, and these structures aren't harmful enough to be completely eliminated by natural selection. Finally, some vestigial structures have evolved new purposes over time, demonstrating evolution's ability to adapt and repurpose existing features. Vestigial structures are truly evolution's fingerprints in our bodies, silent witnesses to the incredible journey of life on Earth.
If you like this video, hit that like button and don't forget to subscribe. Visit codelucky.com for more such useful content.